Hello, boys and girls. Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast. Time to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Irish Wolfhound, and as always, is the featured cocktail in today's episode. I'm going to start with 2 ounces of Irish whiskey. I'm using Jameson. 2 ounces. Next, I'm going to add 1 ounce pink grapefruit juice. Next, ginger beer, 2 ounces. Then we add ice to our glass. And there you have it, boys and girls. The Irish Wolfhound. You can garnish with a grapefruit slice as well. Not bad. Not bad. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. See ya.
You know who gets systematically ignored in many a horror film? Geeky scientists and women, especially women of the older, wiser variety. And in this week's episode of the Scary Spirits Podcast, Wakewood from 2011, we get a good dose of the latter. The older widow knows something is amiss, and she tells everyone that something isn't right. But does anyone listen? Spoiler alert, they do not. And what happens? Chaos, horrific gore, and her own death. Seems a bit unfair. As a former geeky scientist and a current older woman, I'm just going to say, given the state of the world, maybe give us a listen. Cheers.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen? I feel like it's been weeks since I've seen you.
Well, Greg, I'm disappointed
Uh-oh.
in my immune system.
Oh.
I leveled up. I was all cocky. I leveled up and bam, my immune system took me out. How are you, Greg?
I'm good, Karen. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you forgot my name already?
It's been forever. I'm just saying. I couldn't remember how to hook all my podcasting paraphernalia up to my computer.
Sad. It's very sad, people.
And I'm way younger than you.
I know.
Karen, was this week's film my choice?
No, we're not doing that yet because you know what? We're going to shout out someone right now.
Oh, okay.
Someone actually noticed that we skipped a podcast. And we skipped a podcast because I wasn't very sick, as you can probably see. Yeah, I had laryngitis. So it was my birthday, and my family got the gift of me not being able to speak for 5 days. I don't think that's fair. I think they all benefited.
Oh, you're a giver. You're a giver.
So, yeah, I just couldn't talk. So
someone noticed?
Tanya noticed. Our listener. actually reached out to see if we were okay. And I
Yeah.
had to say it was my fault. It wasn't an April Fool's joke. I just couldn't do it.
It did just happen to fall that way, though.
So thanks, Tanya.
Yes, thank you. We're glad that someone out there cares.
Someone noticed. Someone checked on me.
All right, on to this week's film. Was it my choice, Karen?
It was. Then what did you choose for us?
Film I have chosen is a film from 2009, a Hammer production.
I did not see the Hammer name anywhere. Did I miss it?
I wasn't really looking, but it is a Hammer production.
Okay, I believe you.
The first of the rebirth of Hammer, actually, the very first one when they
started rebirthing.
Yep, it was a Hammer.
Well, that's
Films
appropriate,
production.
isn't it?
It had like 4 productions things here on it. We got Hammer Films.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Spitfire Pictures, Fantastic Films, and Vertigo Films, which I did see Vertigo. I did remember seeing
I
that.
saw a couple of them, yeah.
It was released way back on March 25th, Karen.
Close enough. It's
So,
close enough.
if this episode were to come out on April 1st, like it should have, it would have been like a week since its anniversary. So there you go. I did have a reason, other than it's a Hammer film.
Look at you laying the guilt on. Your timing
did
would have
I
been
do
perfect,
that?
except if it had come out when it was supposed to.
Did you not like my tone, Karen?
I did not. Okay, cool. Do you have a drink to go with it?
I do, Karen.
Why don't you tell everyone what that is?
The cocktail I've chosen is a cocktail called the Irish Wolfhound.
You're going to have to explain that to me at some point.
Because this film takes place in Ireland and there are dogs in it. that
Okay.
figure prominently.
Yes, but not Irish Wolfhounds.
No, not Irish Wolfhounds, but details,
Okay.
Karen, details.
Okay.
They're hounds. They're hounds.
Mm, in the broad sense, yes. Okay, what do you got? How do you make such a thing?
Well, I found several recipes, and the one I gave 2 weeks ago now
Oh
on
my
the previous
God.
episode was way too much work for me, Karen. So I had to find a new one.
You found a streamlined version. I
Yeah,
like that.
I'm not gonna grill pineapple or what is it? It's grapefruit, wasn't it?
Grapefruit,
Supposed to
yeah.
Grill grapefruit and do all this? Nope, not doing that. Irish Wolfhound cocktail. We're gonna need 2 ounces of Irish whiskey. I used Jameson. 2 ounces of ginger beer. 1 ounce pink or ruby red grapefruit juice.
Ruby red.
Pink.
Okay.
We're gonna add the whiskey, ginger beer, and juice in a rocks glass. Add ice to the glass. Garnish each drink with
Oh, that's right. It's
half
2.
slices. No, it says makes 1 drink at the top. It says
Oh,
makes 1
because
drink. Oh, yours isn't in a rocks glass either.
I don't have a rocks glass.
Well, your birthday's already passed. You just have
I
to
know.
wait.
Wah, wah. I do have an ice maker now, finally, though. Woohoo!
Oh, hooray, you have ice.
Yes, I have ice.
And there you have it. Irish Wolfhound. Should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own Irish Wolfhound, Karen?
Of course.
It's pretty easy. Won't take long.
Hurry back.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Karen, might you have a brief synopsis of this film for us from 2009?
I do.
Go on. Tell us all the story.
At least it's more than one sentence this week. After a crazed dog kills their 9-year-old daughter, Patrick and his wife Louise decide to relocate. Moving to the remote town on Wakewood, they stumble upon the locals enacting a terrifying ritual said to bring the dead back to life for 3 days. Desperate to see their daughter alive again, the couple strike a deal with the town leader, Arthur, to be part of the ceremony. But how will they cope when the 3 days are up?
Thank you, Karen. I had nothing, so we are not a match. We probably would have been a match, though.
Well, that's rude, Greg.
I know. I just
Look at you, just
falling
this
apart,
one week and it you
throwing
can't
off schedule, throwing me off my schedule. I'm just
Jeez, can't do anything.
God Almighty. All right, Karen, tell us everything you really enjoyed or were pleasantly surprised by in this Hammer production from 2009, bringing back Hammer films.
Rebirthing.
A lot of rebirthing in this one too.
I know, that's what I said. It's very appropriate.
Yeah.
I think the story's interesting. I, I assume this is way after Pet Cemetery. I
Yes.
never saw that either, so but I can see where it probably parallels it in some ways. Story's interesting. I thought the acting was really good. I was impressed with the kid. I'm always impressed when a kid can pull off a pretty complex acting situation, and I think she did. I liked how it was shot. It had it wasn't exactly grainy. Again, I don't know if that was the copy that we saw or what, but I liked that about it. Kind of had that rough edge to it. There's some good shots in it. I think what strikes me about these kind of movies are if you see this as like an 18-year-old or very young person, it doesn't hit you quite the same as it does if you watch it when you're older and as a parent. Because if you think about it and you're like, and we've seen enough of these movies that we know, not, well, we should know not to agree to something like that, right? But there's this tiny bit of you as a parent that would
No way
be,
in hell, Karen.
but there, you can understand it though, right? As a parent, like you can understand the need to do that, especially if you didn't have a chance to say goodbye, which is what happens in this movie. As an 18-year-old, you're kind of like, what dumbasses? Who would do that? You know, there's consequences, whatever. But it shifts your perspective in an interesting way, depending on how old you are, whether you have kids or not, how old your kids are, all of those kind of things. And I think it messes with your mind a little bit, depending on where you are in that spectrum, which I think makes it a more interesting film. As I've gotten older, as I've leveled up and gotten older, you can see how movies are made and they affect people so differently. So I thought that was kind of, it made me think about, no, I would not do it, but there's a small part of me that understands why it would be done. And, you know, in desperate times, I don't know. So I think that's just very cool about the movie, that it makes you think about those things. What do you have that you liked?
The very first thing I wrote down is good acting. It was good acting.
I agree.
The next thing I wrote is it's got all the Hammer stuff. It's good acting, good sets. It's shot. Next thing I wrote it is well shot. There's some good shots in this. I do like the story. When I was reading about it, I was of course immediately you're taken to Pet Cemetery, right? When you read what the film is actually about, right? Do a little research. And by the way, Pet Cemetery, the novel was released in 1983, so predates this by
Quite a bit.
quite a bit. But this is actually a different story, and I like this story. I liked how it's different. It's more, I don't know, you got to do there's a whole ritualistic thing that lots of people have to be involved in. It's a community project, Karen.
Yes. A group project.
Group project, yeah. And I wrote, I liked the twist at the end.
I did like the twist at the end. I liked the breaking of the fourth wall at the end. I liked,
Yeah, it was,
it jolted me. Because I was like, oh my God, is he gonna like, well, in my head, and he must have waited like, there was planning involved there.
uh-huh.
It's a good ending.
And the young actress, Ella Conley, she was really good. She hasn't done much more since then, but she is now going into directing and writing, apparently. So,
She has that good, innocent look, but she can look evil.
hmm
She did a nice transition there, I thought.
yeah, she did direct and write a short. So that's all she's done and she also acted in it, that short as well. So she's done this and counting in the short, she's done 4 other films. So, okay. Anything you did not care for, Karen?
Well, I kind of wish it didn't drag, but I kind of wish they would have filled some of the time that they had with more information about the group of people, the cult, whatever it is, why they were doing this. Like in other films, it's for the harvest or it's for, there's some sort of reason. Like,
I think
why?
because they can, Karen.
Well, I agree, but why in that one area can you? Like, what's the,
Oh yeah, the whole
what's,
Wakewood thing and
yeah, what's
everything.
the deal? Is it a ancient god? Is it a, like, what? Like, how did they figure out they could do it? Why are they well, they're continuing to do it, but
Just
why?
because that's the way they've always done it, Karen.
But it's just like, what's the thing with the questions? What is that abacus looking thing? And like,
Mhm.
there's some cool things in there, but nothing's explained really. Like, I would have been much more interested in like a Batman moment with the cult to figure out why can you only go to a certain line, and if you cross the line, which was also cool, kind of graphic but cool, but if you cross the line you start to die like you did in your so that
Yeah.
was a neat connection there too. But I just felt a little lost as to, they just happened to show up in Wakewood and they had lost their, like, did something pull them there? Like, it
Well,
just,
that's an
you know
interesting question because he works for like the guy who does the incantations, right? So Arthur's the one that brought him to Wakewood. So I wonder if he knew.
I don't,
I
yeah,
don't know.
but he acts like he doesn't know because he doesn't know how long the daughter's been in the ground and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's, if you just take it on face value, I know, like, I'm looking for things I don't like. It's a good movie. I liked it. I just wanted more info on the folk part of it. Like, what's going on? Why are they doing
Yeah.
it? How can they do it? Why, what is Arthur ancient or is he just the next generation? Like, what's the advocate? There were a lot of questions for me.
Yeah, I guess it
And
is.
kind of what was her deal? Like, why can it only be a year? And when they lied, why, who was in her besides the daughter? Like, there's like, tell me.
It just doesn't always go well, Karen, if it's been more than a year. And they probably know that by now, which is why they say only a year. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. So who knows? I don't know.
It's
I
pretty
guess,
graphic. I mean, like, there's a lot of animal killing in it, which I
but
didn't like.
it's done well with tight
Yes.
shots, choppy. You don't see too much of anything at any one time.
But again, why did she do that? Like, anyway, what did you have anything you didn't like?
I wrote it sad, Karen. It's sad. That's the old man in me talking. The old man with kids. And it's also a little long, I think.
Yeah, I think they could have
It wasn't
taken out.
terrible. It was probably 10 minutes too long.
They show a lot of the family being happy together, and that's
Yeah,
great.
we have
But
montages. Lots of montages in this film.
yeah, we could have done with some montages of the cult,
We don't even know it's a cult.
For lack of a better term. Yeah. But why did she go on the rampage of killing all the animals? I don't,
Sometimes it doesn't work, Karen. Just sometimes it all goes bad.
and I didn't understand after that happened why they helped him again after he lied to them and cost them multiple town members. They still just, okay, we'll help you again.
But it seems like it's what they do, and it almost feels like they have to do it periodically or some shit to me.
I
But
guess, but just seemed like that jump in time where they're just helping him do it. And you're like, he just caused massive damage to the town. And, but maybe he redeemed
it's true.
himself and he's all in. And I don't know. Who knows? But just seemed rather convenient.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to the hamster.
Probably what happens to every hamster.
Oh, okay. You think they kept it alive for a while? All
Probably escaped and they don't know where it is.
right. Anything else you didn't care for? Anything else you want to bring up?
No, I thought it was good. I thought, again, I haven't seen Pet Cemetery, but I don't
You
know
haven't
how.
seen Pet Cemetery?
No, it's. I don't know how close
Neither
it
one
is
of
to
them?
that. No,
Neither one of the
none
originals
of them.
or the sequels?
No.
Okay. I've seen the first Pet Cemetery film. It's sad as well.
That's why I don't want to see it.
But I would say it's like more horrific than this one. But it's Stephen King.
I
All right,
liked this
Karen.
one. I thought it was
I
good.
do too. I do
Yeah.
too. Which again begs the question, why is it so hard to find, Karen?
Oh my God. I couldn't find it anywhere. I assume you're going to put it in the show notes where people can find it.
Yes, yes. All right. What kind of cocktail rating do you want to give this film, Karen?
I think it's a very strong 3.
I agree.
I would recommend seeing it if you can find it. I think it's a good movie.
I do too. Very good.
I'd never heard of it before this, but it's not going to, it's not groundbreaking, but it's definitely good. And if you like folk horror or that kind of vibe, you'll really like it.
Yeah, it's very Hammer-esque.
Yeah, but yeah, but it was,
And I know everyone's asking, so I'll just tell you right now, this film is not referenced in the Hammer Glamour book. The Hammer Glamour book came out the same year this film did. So,
no, that would be tough then.
yes, maybe in future printings they'll include
Update it.
the new and improved Hammer Glamour book. All right, 3 cocktails. Strong 3. I could argue for 2, but I'm not gonna. But it is good. All right, Karen, before we get into it, would you like to hear a review from the time?
Yeah, let's do that.
First, I have to tell you this has a 81% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes,
Wow.
a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb. What do you think Google users say?
What was the Rotten Tomatoes 85?
81.
I'm going to go 88.
57, Karen, 57%.
What?
Yeah.
Really? That surprises me.
Me as well. The review I have is from Variety.
Uh-oh.
And it's actually dated March 25th, 2011. Yeah, so the film is from 2009, but it was released in the States on March 25th, 2011 by a writer named Leslie Belperin. And it's a pretty lengthy article for a Variety.
I was going to say, those are usually a paragraph.
It's not one of those old ones from the 70s or 60s or whatever. All right. The sometimes moldy legacy of Hammer horror gets due tribute from Wake Wood, a preposterous but not entirely unrepossessing supernatural thriller, partly backed by the newly resurrected Scare Shingle.
What?
Lots of big words in there, Karen. I don't know. The core conceit of the screenplay by Helmer David Keating and co-writer Brendan McCarthy, a grieving couple willing to do anything to bring their dead daughter back to life, has proper emotional heft, with solid thespiaing by leads Eva Berthistle and Aidan Gillen. Elsewhere, however, execution is a bit sloppy, though Pick probably won't keel over as a low-key release and should enjoy a solid ancillary afterlife. A prologue shows how too cute to be true Alice died on her 9th birthday after being showered with presents by her loving parents, veterinarian Patrick and pharmacist Louise. She's killed by a dog at her father's practice, which somewhat begs unanswered questions, likely to be posed by parents, as to why a vet's daughter, of all people, didn't know to be wary of such animals. Sometime later, Louise and Patrick have moved from whatever Irish city they were living in to the small rural community. Rural community. It's a hard word for me to say, Karen. Community of Wakewood. One word on a sign, but 2 in the Pick's title. That's true. Where they've tried to recover from the tragedy with mixed success. Deeply grief-stricken, Louise accuses Patrick of forgetting their child because he seems to have coped better. It's later explained that the two can't have more children. One night after their car has inexplicably broken down, they stumble upon the entire village taking part in a strange ritual at the farmstead owned by seemingly kind local big shot Arthur. Turns out the village has the power to bring the recently deceased back to life for 3 precious days, but only if the person has been dead for less than a year. It also works only as long as the reborn one doesn't leave town. Louise and Patrick sign up straight away for this Faustian pact. But of course, something's not quite right with Alice when she's resurrected, and it turns out someone wasn't telling the whole truth. Pick's early reels build up the atmosphere effectively enough, thanks largely to an effective creepy score by Michael Convertino and poignant perfs by Gillian and Berthistle, while supporting players go at their roles with straight-faced conviction, no matter how silly things get. In the final stretch, Keating, whose previous credits include documentaries and one feature, The Last of the High Kings, loses its grip on the material, and the pick unravels into a hodgepodge of steals from and allusions to other horror picks and thrillers from The Wicker Man and Don't Look Now to Carrie. The last scene doesn't make even a lick of sense.
I kind of agree, but I liked it.
One more sentence here. Chris Morris's HD lensing has a loose-lived spontaneity at first, but starts to look merely shoddy at the end, by the end. So that's what you were talking about, the
grainy
filmography, whatever.
Yeah.
Pick was filmed in Sweden as well as Donegal, Northern Ireland, but there are no glaring continuity issues. Thank you, Variety.
I do have questions about the ending, but I thought it was...
I just let it go.
I thought it was well foreshadowed, and when you get there and you think about it, you're like, oh, you kind of see what's going to happen there.
All right, Karen, are you ready to get into it scene by scene, or would you like to tell us what film you have chosen for us next week?
I'm going to tell you what film I've chosen for next week.
Go on, Karen. What film are we going to watch next week?
We're going to watch the 1997 masterpiece, Anaconda.
1997. I think there's been more than one Anaconda now.
Well,
one of the just a Jack Black thing?
Yeah, so we saw that and it was very funny.
Okay.
So that made me think.
So you're hoping that this is going to be similar?
Well, it's not funny. I've seen pieces of it. I don't know if I've ever seen the entire film, but I know that there were parts in the new one with Jack Black and Paul Rudd that referenced it, and I did get some of those. So I thought, well, we should watch it. But not only that, the podcast for Anaconda would come out on April 15th, and in 1997, Anaconda came out on April 11th.
Yes.
So
happy anniversary.
Yes. It's not just because I saw the new one, which is very funny, but also because we're being timely.
All right. Do we have a cocktail to enjoy? Is it something snake themed?
It's called the Blue Anaconda. I think you're going to like it.
See what you did there.
I don't think the anaconda in Anaconda is blue, but there's a little trick. You can make it green if you want to. You're going to need 2/3 of an ounce of coconut rum, 2/3 of an ounce of vanilla vodka, 1 ounce of blue curacao.
I'm all in so far, Karen.
And 1 to 2 ounces of milk or cream. Optional, 1 drop of yellow food coloring if you want it to look green instead of blue.
Could I use some Di Serono cream?
I'm sure you could. And you're going to need ice. You're going to fill the cocktail shaker with ice, add the rum, vodka, curacao, and milk. Shake vigorously until well chilled and creamy.
I want to put some ice cream in it too.
That would be good. Strain into a cocktail glass and then add 1 drop of yellow food coloring to the shaker. Now, I got this off of YouTube, so I can't remember who it was that did it. But I can find it for you and you can put it in the notes.
Yes, you will need to. And I will include it in the notes.
The Common Man or the Everyman or something like that drinks or something like, I don't know. But anyway.
Okay. Awesome.
Definitely a Lanai drink, I think.
I'm sure we all look forward to that. As well as the film, of course. All right, Karen, are you ready to get into Wakewood scene by scene?
Yes, let's do that.
And I got a new phone, so I decided I'm going to try this fancy voice recorder thing and then transcribe it into text and see how it works. And it did work for the most part, apparently, and I'm very happy. Otherwise, I would have nothing prepared.
What do you mean you spoke into your phone?
Yes.
Oh, directly into email? That's what I do.
No, I do it. It was to my voice recorder. I just
Oh,
recorded my voice, and I did hit pause in between when I wasn't talking. And then when it was finished, I hit transcribe, and AI did its thing, and
oh, you crossed your fingers because if it
I
didn't
crossed
work.
my fingers, and AI did its thing. Yeah, it even gives me like time, what time I said it, and it thinks I'm more than one person because it says speaker one, speaker two.
Interesting.
Yes.
Maybe you have more than one personality.
All right, Wakewood from 2009, released in the States 2011. Where did you watch this, Karen?
Wherever the link took me, where was that?
Something called mometu.com. mometu.com. Apparently it's a thing. Legit thing. And I was shocked there were no commercials. I was totally expecting commercials.
You told me there were going to be commercials.
I assumed there would be because it was free and it's legit. But according to IMDb, it was rated R for bloody violence, including disturbing images and brief sexuality. Enough to get them into the Hammer Glamour book if they put out a new another printing.
Do you think she deserves to be in the Hammer Glamour book?
I think she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have credits. She's a good actress, I thought. She was good as mom. They were all good. Credits, and as the credits are playing, we see a couple driving through the rain. Then we have flashbacks, I guess. Alice's birthday. She gets a hamster from dad. Mom gives her a locket. Alice takes her hamster to school, question mark.
I know that in its habit trail.
Yeah. But then she walks past the vet clinic.
It's his vet clinic, I
Yeah, I'm
think.
like, oh, it's her father's.
Yeah,
So
and
is
I
she
thought
on her way to school?
they said have fun at school, and
Yeah, that's the last thing we say. We see where they say, okay.
I was confused as if it was it their dog or was it like because it's attached
It
to
was
their
one that
house.
he was treating because she asked the dog, "Has Daddy been taking good care of you?" Like treating the dog or whatever. So, but it's a German Shepherd. She enters the cage where the dog is, and it attacks her. And I wrote, "It looks like mom and dad are having relations while this is going on." Then she gone, and then we see
It
a
ripped her
sign.
throat out. It was
Yeah, and we see a sign that says "Welcome to Wakewood." We keep going back and forth between whatever.
yes.
See mom and dad running to the hospital, carrying Alice. Keep cutting back and forth between present time and the past. Title screen. And then they arrive at a house and look in the window. We learn mom's a pharmacist and dad is the vet. And
Yeah, because when they drive into town, there's a pharmacy that's closed. It's all boarded up, and I thought, oh, Wakewood's not prosperous, like because the pharmacy was closed, and I thought that was going to be a theme, but it turns out it's just convenient because she's a pharmacist.
then we see dad operating on a bull, question mark, I wrote. And I wrote, nope, it's a cow because it's
Yes,
giving birth.
it's a heifer because he does a C-section.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, how common are bovine cesarean sections?
Very, I would say.
Yes, quite common in veterinary practice. Often performed as an emergency procedure to save the calf.
That's a big animal to push
when,
out, Karen.
when delivery is not possible. They're frequently necessary for calves that are too large,
Too large or
especially in young heifers.
too low. I think they're too low too, or something.
Wrong position, yes. Oversized calves.
Yeah, they're breached or
No,
whatever.
no contractions or inadequate cervical dilation. While not the first choice over natural birth, it's very common intervention in cattle practice. About 1 to 7%, depending on whether it's dairy or beef herd. Success rates are high. 91% of cows and 95% of calves survived. But see, I thought it was interesting because they're generally performed on a standing cow on the left side, which is easier on the animal and the surgeon. I just thought it looked I don't know, like the cow's not out or anything. They just,
Yeah. You thought we were watching All Creatures Great and Small there for a second?
but to have them standing, it was just interesting.
Yeah. Usually I've seen it where, or I've seen depictions where they actually tie a rope to the hooves or whatever of the calf they're pulling out too to like pull it out. But that
The
might be more for normal
normal way.
births.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're already halfway through the podcast. What do you think? If you like what you hear, can you take a minute and follow us on social media? At Scary Spirits Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks so much for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
All right. So then we see Louise. I'm calling her mom here, but it's Louise in the store, and a woman and her daughter come in to the pharmacy.
I think it's her niece, but
She says it's her. Yeah, she does later say it's her niece,
yeah, later.
but I kept saying her daughter.
Yeah, that's reasonable to think.
So the niece's prescription has expired a year ago. Period. I wrote everyone acting weird.
Yes, everyone was acting weird. And we don't see if she filled the prescription or not. I didn't see it.
No, we don't. Then we have shots of Patrick and Louise. Well, we see Louise grieving. Patrick's driving home, and Patrick gets
Louise has a
home.
bunch of Alice's stuff out, and she's kind of laying in the middle of all of it, crying.
Patrick gets home, wants to throw Alice's stuff away. Louise says she's not ready. Louise wants Patrick to let her go, and she tells him to drive her to the station. So is he like throwing her on a train or something?
I think she's leaving him.
Yeah. So they're driving in, the car breaks down. They get out to check the car and hear a strange noise. They go to investigate. Their flashlight battery dies. They walk through a cemetery, it appeared. Then they go to the house of Patrick's colleague, Arthur.
Yeah, because the car just stops working. Like it just kind of goes,
Yep.
and then the battery and the flashlight kind of goes, like
Yes.
you can't have any power apparently.
There's no answer at the door, but the car is there. So Louise says she'll go around back and check. And she stumbles upon a ceremony. And as she's watching, she flashes back to Alice again. And then they pull a person out of a cow, question mark.
It was very hard to figure out what's going on, but
Yeah.
the person coming out is definitely covered in goo.
And Patrick's associate sees her as she runs away. Patrick and Louise arrive back at their house, and Arthur is there inside.
Yeah, he beats them back to their own house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was the landlord or something. He might be, but I kept calling him the landlord because he let himself into their house.
Yep. Patrick tells Arthur about the car breaking down and them going to his house, but they couldn't reach him. Arthur then excuses himself, and he asks Louise if everything is okay with her, because he asked Patrick, "Hey, I hope everything's going well since you've been here." Blah blah blah. And she goes upstairs. Then we see a mechanic checking on the car. The next day, I guess, we see Patrick sees a child in the distance and waves, and then the car starts up. Don't know what was wrong. Patrick turns around, the child is gone. Then we see Louise in town, and she sees the person she saw pulled from the cowl or whatever it is in the ceremony. And then a woman and her niece, right, are there again. It's Mary, right? Mary and her niece. They're in there, and they're acting weird again. And Louise watches them.
The niece has a weird necklace on.
Yes. And then we see townsfolk walking past the windows, pounding on their sticks, question mark.
Yeah, clicking wood or something. See, that's the kind of thing they have, like almost like instruments. They have a stick and like a hollow piece of wood, and they're beating on it. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? What is that? Are they calling like? Because they seem to be ceremoniously taking the niece back, right? Like that seems to be what's happening, but we get no explanation.
Yeah, Mary and her niece, Denise, right? Said her walk past, and Denise tells Louise Alice has a lovely voice.
Yeah,
So
and that
Louise,
sets off
yeah,
Louise.
Louise follows them. She wants to know. Oh, she follows Mary back to her house. She wants to know if Mary knows Alice's name.
Yeah, she
And
pushes her in the house. It's a very confrontational. She's very upset that the niece knew her daughter's name.
she wants to know how the niece knew it. Then we learn that Louise cannot have any more children. Mary tells Louise, I know how you feel. This is I like this scene a lot, actually. The girl is not Mary's niece, it's her daughter. And then Mary asks Louise if she would like to have her daughter back. She can't tell her if it can be done, though. So then Patrick calls Louise and asks her to help him with, I guess, one of his vet house calls or whatever. They're working with a cow or whatever, and the owner gets in the pen with the cow.
They told him not to.
They did.
They said, get out of there. It's a big bull. It's
It
a
is the bull, I
very
guess.
strong cow, obviously. And they're trying to get him into a stall, not a stall. I don't know the proper term, but they're trying to get him immobilized in a corral, but short. Like, he has to, I don't know what they're going to do to him, but he's not cooperating. He won't go into what they want him to go into. So the owner thinks, I got this, and he gets behind him and starts kind of not whipping him, but he's got a kind of thing to sort of move him along, and the bull just backs up.
Backs up on him and crushes him against the side of
Literally.
the cage. Yep. And I wrote, it's pretty good blood. It's not your typical hammer blood.
It's not hammer blood, but they're trying to get him out. They can't get him out. They finally
Hammers
open him.
learned how to make blood by 2009,
2009.
Karen.
And I like it was poetic that the bull crushes him. They finally open it up. The guy falls, and they show the bull walking
Like
over
walking
him.
over top of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Arthur arrives, consoles everybody, and Patrick feels responsible. He tells Arthur they are leaving.
It's too much death, kind of, for him, I think.
Yeah, Arthur tells them to tell him about their daughter. And Arthur tells them that he can bring their daughter back to life for a short time if she's been dead under a year.
So he just says it like after this traumatic experience. Maybe that's because they're sort of in shock, so he feels like he can approach them and say it now.
But
And
she can only
maybe
come back for 3 days.
because they're going to need a body, so they know they have one. So maybe that's why he brings it up too.
Yep.
So he's telling them it's enough for you to say goodbye, because Alice went very abruptly in a very violent, dramatic way, and they didn't get to talk to her before she left there.
And then Patrick questions Louise about what she saw at the ceremony.
She doesn't want to talk about it at first.
Yeah, but she kind of describes it, and she believes Arthur. Patrick says pretty much, if I agree to do this, you're staying. Right? So then we see Patrick with Louise and Arthur's working on some beads like an abacus, I wrote, Karen. Asking them about Alice, and Patrick tells Arthur that Alice has been in the ground for 11 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days.
But he's asking all kinds of weird...
Louise does say earlier that apparently she's willing to lie.
Yes, so we know that that's not true. But he's asking questions like, was her skin dry or moist? Was her hair thick or thin? Which animal did she like the most? Dogs, cats, or horses? So I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure what all the questions are for, but...
Yeah, but it's interesting that one of Patrick's answers is he says her hair was really fine, right? Wasn't it? Like he can't quite remember. So again, showing he's kind of moved on.
And it's been, a while. I mean,
Yeah.
It's only been a year, but still.
Arthur explains that Alice will be revived for 3 days, but they must keep her inside the town limits. After 3 days, she will die. They also need a body to perform the ceremony. Luckily, the farmer recently died. Arthur tells Patrick they must settle there permanently, and Patrick
If they do it, yeah.
And Patrick and Louise agree. And then I guess we cut to the funeral of the farmer? ? I guess. I guess they're holding like the wake in the house, and like farmer's wife is clipping his fingernails and shit. And
Cleaning him up.
Louise comes in and kind of pays her respects. Then Louise tells the farmer's wife that they lost a child and she cannot not have any more children. She asks if they can use her husband's remains to bring Alice back. The wife takes a candle and looks at them. She says it's not right. She doesn't know what it is, but she won't do it. There's something
And
she
it's,
just don't like about them.
yeah, she has a sense of something's not right. But it's interesting in this town, they seem to do this a lot. So I'm sure if you had someone die, someone's going to come to you, right?
Yes.
Like everybody's going to have to be. I don't think anyone's buried in the ground. I don't know who's in that cemetery except the people who were brought back.
Yep.
Because it's just this perpetual thing that
Yep.
then they
Arthur
would
can,
know. Don't worry. We'll talk.
yeah. You'll have your 3 days.
Just bring me back and you can find out where I hid the jewels or whatever.
Right.
Just have me come back. It'll be fine.
Arthur convinces her to let them use the body. Arthur tells them they must provide something personal to Alice as well to use during the ceremony. But they don't have a lock of hair or anything. But
They need something from her body.
and then Patrick thinks that the wife knows that Alice has been buried for more than a year. Then we
Yeah,
see
because
Patrick.
the widow, not
Yes,
the wife of the
yes.
farmer.
The
Yeah.
widow. Then Patrick and Louise go to Alice's grave with shovels. Begins thunder and raining, Karen.
It rains
Like
a lot in the
like
movie.
any good Hammer film. They dig up the body. Patrick breaks open the casket with an axe, and he takes the locket from the body. He also cuts off one of Alice's fingers
I think that would be very traumatic.
with a garden shear or something with a clipper.
Digging up your dead child. I
That
can't.
would be. That's what I'm saying. No way in hell, Karen. I would
That
not
would
do
be
this.
awful.
So then they cut to the ceremony. They have the body of the farmer. Lots of
It's a
people
pretty
watching.
brutal ceremony. It
Yeah.
was.
And apparently it's the town's entertainment because everybody comes out. But they crushed the body of the farmer in a hydraulic press. Like he's flat as a pancake.
I think they got to mush everything up in there.
Arthur then cuts the spinal cord, and it looks like he splits it in two, and he pulls a part of the spine out. Then he takes Alice's finger and puts it in the farmer's mouth. Then Arthur says a bunch of words, and the townsfolk all grab hands in
And
a
re-
circle.
Yeah.
Arthur,
And repeat her name, Alice. Blah, 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 Alice. Blah, 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 Alice.
something about the roots, going to the roots or whatever.
And the tree. There's something about roots and tree a lot.
So then Arthur asks for human blood has to be spilled, and a female would be better. So Patrick slits the palm of Louise's hand, and I wrote, that's not great, but it's not terrible either. I mean, it is what it is, right? And then they coat the body of the farmer with something. I don't know what it is. And they set it on fire. Shortly thereafter, they put out the fire, and Arthur cuts his way into the body. And then they pull Alice out.
Like a birth.
And like she is reborn. Louise gives Alice a shower, and she cuts her hair, and Alice says she had a strange dream. That night, Louise sleeps with Alice. Next morning, Patrick makes pancakes. Alice brushes her hair. And Alice looks creepy anyway. She's just a creepy looking kid, I think.
I think she's cute. She's got really big eyes. And I think they say she has brown eyes now or something. Don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that. But then Patrick and Louise seem very, very happy, like a very happy couple all of a sudden. Their relationship is reborn. Alice says the house seems strange. Louise says they came there for a break, and Alice says, oh, I must have slept the whole way here. So she obviously knows nothing.
Yeah, she doesn't remember a whole lot.
So then we have a montage playing games with Alice. Eventually they play hide and seek. Alice gets separated from them. Patrick and Louise look for her. And they see Alice at a tree with a bunch of gnarly roots and shit, and there's a dead bird hanging from the tree.
So they're doing all these like picnics and hide and seek and making paint. If you
Water
had three
guns.
days, like, yeah, like, wouldn't you be like, so what do you remember? Like, do you remember anything? Because her hair grew. That's why they had to cut it. So that's our indication right there that
Well, the
time
hair always
passes,
grows, they tell me, for a
not,
while.
but not to the point where you would have to cut it.
Okay.
I think it's the indication that time moves
I
at
I
kind of the
agree. I agree. That's what
at
they're
the
trying
same
to.
at the same pace as what's happening in our world is happening in that world.
Right. I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I've always heard that hair and fingernails still grow because fingernails are hair, basically. Right?
Well, that's maybe why the widow was cutting the fingernails.
I don't know. Well, he hasn't been reborn
I
yet.
know. Getting
Maybe
ready.
maybe she wants to get ahead of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Could be.
But Alice says, I remember people saying my name and stuff,
Yes.
but
Patrick puts the locket on Alice.
oh, sorry, I got ahead.
Yep. And then we have the windmills. We've seen the windmills before, but now I'm kind of understanding why they're important because they mark the boundary of the town.
Yes, so you want to talk about the turbines, the windmills?
Sure, Karen, tell us all about the turbines.
Well, the first electricity generated wind turbine was invented by Scottish professor James Blythe in July 1887 to light his holiday cottage. Almost simultaneously, Charles Brush built the first automatically operated large scale wind turbine in Cleveland, Ohio in 1888. So we see these things often in this movie, and they're massive and they do mark the edge of the town. Wind turbines convert kinetic energy from wind into electricity using large blades, typically featuring a three-blade design with tower heights often exceeding 250 feet. They are a major renewable source with top installations in China and the US, providing clean energy for 20 to 30 years with high recyclability, up to 90%. So, you want to guess who has the highest share by country of wind energy?
I'm gonna say it's probably in Europe somewhere. I'm gonna say Germany.
It's a good guess, but it's Denmark. Denmark has wind covering 50% of its electricity mix. The top producer is Germany, which leads with over 66 gigawatts of capacity. I guess that's GW. I guess that's what that is. But yeah, they're very prevalent in this thing. And I remember, because you always see them at a distance, right? And then I remember traveling in
Typically.
California,
some pretty close ones. So.
and they were trucks were carrying the, what do you call them?
Propellers,
Yes, God damn
the
it.
fans,
The
whatever.
one piece, though, they're usually
fan.
three,
Yeah,
but just the
fan.
one piece,
Whatever. The blade.
the blade. And it's huge. You know, it's massive. Anyway, it's impressive.
So then we cut to them all driving in a car. Patrick is distracted by Alice because she's acting weird.
Like she remembers things about being reborn, sorry.
And then Patrick hits a dog. Good thing he's a veterinarian now, right? So they take the dog home and Patrick stitches him up. Alice watches and she wants to help.
Looks like a bull mastiff.
It does. Alice says, people shouldn't hurt animals, right? And Dad says, yes, that's right. And then she says, well, animals shouldn't hurt people either. Kind of cool. And Dad says, well, that's different. Then Arthur arrives. Alice wants to keep the dog. Named him, they're going to call him Howie, apparently. She already has a name for him. Arthur tells Patrick, don't make it too hard to say goodbye.
I don't know how you do that, but okay.
Yeah. Then we see Patrick and Louise kissy facing, period, and we see one bare breast, and I guess they're kissy facing in Alice's room on the floor, and Alice watches. Is that what's going on here?
I couldn't tell exactly, but
next day, Alice
is staring at him.
Alice packs a garbage bag and takes it out into the hall and pulls a doll from it like it's giving birth. There's a knock at the door. Farmer's wife, or the farmer's widow, right, comes and offers to give Alice a pony ride. Patrick and Louise are not so sure if Alice should go. So they agree to, well, let's have some breakfast first and then we'll see. But sure enough, next thing we see Alice on a pony.
Well, the widow says, "Oh, you can all come."
Yeah.
Because at first, Patrick's suspicious. Like, why does she want to take the kid? And we are too, I think. Like, she wants to check out the girl.
Alice on the pony, and the widow has it by a leash, more or less, tethered and just going around in a circle. And she calls Alice a natural. She's a natural rider. Patrick and Louise leave Alice with the widow.
Well, she kind of finagles alone time. She makes Patrick and Louise go into the house. I don't know if it's her son or who.
I think it's her son.
Keeps them entertained with tea and sandwiches.
The widow questions Alice and uses the abacus. She asks Alice if she is a normal little girl. And then Alice gets angry. The widow tells.
She says, "Why would you ask me that?"
Yeah.
And then why won't you look at me?
Louise comes running out, and Patrick and the widow tells Patrick that she ain't right. She's not right.
You got to take her back.
They have to take her back. Alice runs away, and Patrick and Louise follow. Louise goes to get the cars. Patrick follows Alice.
Because they say, "I think we need to take our chance and leave Wakewood." Like, they're ready to go. They're just going to bolt.
He follows Alice, which I don't know why you couldn't catch her. You can catch her.
Well,
but he follows her all the way out of the city. Then the wounds from Alice's original death reappear.
Yeah, because Alice, you see her go right past the "Welcome to Wakewood" sign.
Louise arrives in the car and they throw Alice in the back. They try to drive back into town. I wrote, Alice is gone. Oh, nope, she revives.
But she does. So her wounds reappear as soon as she's outside the city lines. And then they throw her in the back of the car and her wounds heal. But she seems dead. But later, I guess she doesn't come back to life. It's weird. It doesn't have, what's the word? That you have the person who checks for it.
Continuity
Kind of thing.
Well, we don't.
Later, when she goes outside, because then they're at the turbine, or are they outside of Wakewood?
I don't know. I don't know if they bury the body outside the city limits. I don't know.
All right.
So then we see Alice playing with the Mastiff, I wrote. That night, the angry townsfolk arrive banging their sticks. They tell them that Alice must go to the grave immediately because they tried to leave. They want Patrick and Louise to give up their last day with Alice. Patrick tells Arthur he's not noticed anything different about her. Arthur tells him that he must be told if he notices anything immediately. Patrick checks on Alice while she is sleeping and finds her hands are dirty.
And bloody.
The next morning, Patrick finds an animal skin on the porch, ? Then Patrick finds the body of the dog, the Mastiff, Howie. He's skinned.
Skinned, yeah. It's terrible.
He buries the Mastiff. He thinks it may have been Alice.
Louise thinks it was the townsfolk.
Right. Patrick asks Alice to show him her hands. She does very creepily, and her hands are clean. Then Mary comes to visit Patrick and Louise. She tells Patrick and Louise that they have to be strong for Alice. I guess they're on their third day now or something. She gives Alice something to wear.
It's the weird necklace, yeah.
Yep. Louise wants to renege on the deal. Patrick gets a call and has to go on a veterinarian run. He tells Louise to keep the townsfolk away from Alice. Mary says she will come back at midnight. So then Louise hears a strange noise coming from upstairs and goes up to investigate. Alice asks Louise when the baby is coming. Louise takes a pregnancy test and learns that she is indeed pregnant. And we see Patrick at a farm. There are some cows that have been cut up, or I don't know if it's one or two, but is one of them at least dead? I can't
I
tell.
couldn't tell, but they've been brutalized. But I'm like, how can she be pregnant? Like they just
I don't know.
it because she had sex 2 days ago, she's pregnant, and the pregnancy test isn't going to tell her that, but
I don't know.
whatever.
I don't know. But Patrick finds Alice's locket,
Yeah, next to a cow that's been hurt.
and then Louise finds Alice's doll out of body? Question mark. Quick. I don't know. Then Patrick is going to put the animal down. He starts to make and fill a syringe, but then he says it's too big and takes his gun. And I
Because they
kind of
have
think
to.
he's already thinking in the back of his head what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, I thought some with the syringe, he never uses it again, though, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
On Alice.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So he says that he's starting to do something for the cow, and then he realized and he says no, and he has to put it out of its misery.
Yep.
So he shoots it.
Shoots it. We see Arthur and a couple others in Arthur's house, I guess. And Arthur says it's time to go to the woods. Then the radio dial changes on their old timey radio.
The lights flicker.
There's a knock at the door. Arthur goes out, but there's no one there. Arthur comes back in to find Alice there with bloody tools. Arthur tells the men to look away, tells Alice to get out. One of the men does look at Alice, and Alice kills him. He gone. Then Arthur starts reciting some incantation, and Alice says, "I'll see you later," or something. And then we see the widow.
In
What's
her
the widow
house,
doing?
yeah.
In her
She's
house
like,
doing laundry.
yeah, she's drying her clothes and she hears the pony scream.
And we see Alice at the house of the widow. Patrick finds another slaughtered animal. The widow tries to put the
It's the
amulet.
pony.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
The widow tries to put the amulet or whatever it is on Alice. Alice says that won't work on her. Then she impales the farmer's wife right through the neck.
Yeah.
That's pretty good kill. And then Alice pulls the widow up by whatever the laundry thing is. I wrote whatever she's using to dry her clothes. Louise comes up on Patrick and we have a startle scare. She tells Patrick she is pregnant. She says Alice already knew. Patrick shows Louise the body of the widow. They're going to get in their car and head home. Car breaks down again. And they find an animal skin or something. And then I wrote dead animals anywhere,
Dead
everywhere.
crows.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Crows, is that what they
They're
are?
all crows and there's just 100 crows lining the street.
Then Alice comes out yelling for mom. She says, "Don't leave me." And she asks if she is dead. Patrick offers Alice her locket back. He goes to put it on her and hugs her and tells her he loves her. And then he injects her with the syringe that he was going to use for the bull. Alice says she wants to stay with them. They carry Alice to Mary's house. They ask if they have, or they're asked if they have the amulet or whatever that she's supposed to wear. Goes around her neck and binds her hands too, right? Or something.
If she gets feisty.
They say they don't. They carry Alice into the woods. Alice tells Patrick she does not want to go back. And then all of a sudden, Patrick collapses. And doesn't Alice say, "Why are you making me do this?" Right? And then Patrick collapses. I kind of know what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, I think she does something to the dad. He's convulsing.
I think so too. Then Mary tells Alice it's time. Alice kills Mary, pulls out her heart.
Yeah, in front of her. And her mom just watches and
It was pretty good though. Angry villagers arrive and put the talisman or whatever it is around Patrick's neck. Patrick pleads with Arthur, saying that Alice will kill Louise. Arthur says, "I hope not."
yeah, he's not really all that concerned.
So then we see Alice chasing Louise. Louise sees the windmills. She stands on the stairs of a windmill and calls to Alice.
Because she knows she's outside the
Yes.
city limits there.
Alice wants to know
Arthur
why
explained that a long time ago in the movie, but
Alice wants to know why Louise ran away. She says she was scared. Alice asks Louise for a hug. Louise says, of course. And she puts her hands out, urging Alice to come to her. And I wrote there's a nice shot of the windmills here.
Yeah, and you hear the sound of them
Yeah, as Alice
moving.
approaches Louise and Alice's wounds reappear. She gone. Louise carries Alice's body away. Then the windmill suddenly stops, and Louise brings Alice to the ceremony with the villagers. Louise puts Alice in a shallow grave and begins covering her body and tells her a bedtime story. Patrick arrives. Louise goes to leave with him, but a hand comes up from the grave and pulls Louise down.
There's
Townsfolk,
there's a struggle. They try to keep her from going down, but
well, Patrick does. The townsfolk grab Patrick and pull him away. So townsfolk pull Patrick away from Louise, letting her sink into the ground. She gone.
and they say something about these are the
Patrick,
consequences.
yeah, Patrick tries to dig up the grave, but Arthur tells him they are gone and he will not find them. So then we cut to sometime later, I guess. I guess he's in the pharmacy, isn't he? Looking at baby formula and reminiscing. Then he finds a brush with Louise's hair and he pulls a hair from it.
And he gets an idea.
Townsfolk having a ceremony. They pull Louise's body out of the dead body they're using for this time. Patrick showers her off.
She's pregnant.
Louise
So we don't know,
very pregnant, I wrote.
I'm assuming he's waited 8 months or so.
Yeah, 8
to
or
do
9
this.
months.
Yeah.
Louise tells Patrick that Alice misses them and that she hopes it's a baby sister. So it's like Louise has been with Alice for these 9
Yes.
months or whatever.
He does ask her what she remembers, and she says not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Nothing really. So then Louise finishes taking her shower. Patrick has candles lit, and he has his surgical tools all laid out.
Yes.
And he has that amulet thing, whatever it is they tie around the person. And
yeah, so he's willing to send his wife back after he gets the baby.
he has the surgical tools all laid out. Louise gets out of the shower and says she'll be right back. Credits, the end, after Patrick stares at the camera.
So we see, we know he can do a C-section because we've seen it on the cow. And then, we find out Patrick's really the evil one. I don't know. Or is he just trying to save his baby? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he's certainly a quick learner and decides to work the system to his advantage. Let's say that.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I'd do that. If my kid that had been brought back was decapitating ponies, I don't think I'd want a baby that had been brought back, but whatever. To each his own, I guess.
Well,
you do you.
Sequel potential.
It's true. Gotta love that.
And I feel like Louise knows what's going to happen.
Do you?
I do.
See, I didn't think she did. I thought she felt, but maybe when she says she hopes it's a girl, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
It was a surprise ending, though. I didn't expect that. Did you? That he'd bring her back? Because I didn't think the town.
I read about it and stuff.
I thought the townsfolk would have kicked him out.
No, he's stuck there now. He made the pact. He's got to stay there.
I guess, but I thought they would shun him for lying and all the things.
Guess. I mean,
there's he faced
people did die, but
no consequences for his actions. That's all.
Other than he lost his wife and child for the second time.
Well, he knew that was going to happen. They told him that. Not the wife, but the child. Anyway.
What did you think of the Irish Wolfhound cocktail, Karen?
It's okay. I like the ginger and the grapefruit together.
Yeah, I like the ginger. It's good. Anything we learned today, Karen?
About cow cesarean sections and wind turbines.
Yep. Did make references to Pet Cemetery.
Of course.
All right. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
Oh, I'm just thanking Tanya all day, every day for noticing that we missed a week, and all our listeners, because there are so many podcasts out there. We really do appreciate you spending time with us. Who do you need to thank, Greg?
Karen, I'm going to once again thank the band Verse 13 for providing all the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
Music definitely makes the podcast better.
Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Hey, it's Karen, and I'm here to talk to you about getting social with us. Did you know you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast? Or check out our website, scaryspirits.com. If you have something to say, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. And as always, thanks so much for listening. Please drink responsibly.